And it was a very good weekend for Purdue basketball. On Friday night, the men's team knocked off Indiana in a thriller at Mackey Arena, 81-76. Trey Kaufman-Renn hit the game winner with 11 seconds to play, and Jakari Harris came up with a great defensive stop on Miles Rice in the final seconds. The Boilermakers with the win are now ranked 7th in the country, up 3 spots from number 10 a week ago. In addition, Braden Smith was named today as one of 10 semifinalists for the Bob Cousy Award as the nation's top point guard. Braden Smith and Trey Kaufman-Renn have been named 2 of 50 semifinalists for the Oscar Robertson Trophy. That's given to the nation's top player in general. The Boilermakers are on the road right now. In fact, they're just about to land at Cedar Rapids, Iowa, getting ready to take on the Iowa Hawkeyes tomorrow night. The Hawkeyes, by the way, will be without Owen Freeman. Their outstanding forward is having hand surgery, and he will miss the rest of the season. He had been averaging more than 16 points and about 8 rebounds a game. Without Freeman, the Boilermakers will face a Hawkeye team that's still very capable at home, and we'll find out if Purdue can keep its winning streak going as they will take on Iowa tomorrow at 7 o'clock Eastern time. It'll be a 6 o'clock start on our broadcast with Rob Blackman and Bobby Riddell. And then the Boilermakers are back home on Friday night to take on the Trojans of USC. We won't have anybody from the men's team here tonight, but the women's team will be well represented as the Boilermakers picked up a big win yesterday over the Wisconsin Badgers, 84-71. Purdue put 5 players in double figures, and now they'll get ready to take on the Rutgers Scarlet Knights this Sunday in Piscataway, New Jersey. Good evening, everybody. From walk-ons in the Purdue Memorial Union, it is Purdue Basketball Live. We're going to be talking with the head coach of the Boilermakers, Katie Geralds, and also Kendall Purer, our outstanding first-year forward from Lee's Summit, Missouri. You can follow along tonight, Purdue Athletics site on Facebook, X, and YouTube, and we'll have the coach next. This is Purdue Basketball Live, presented by GEMCO on the Purdue Global Sports Network, and this is Boilermaker Basketball from Learfield.
Boilermakers in the fourth quarter of that one just went away from what was working with the three as we see people getting down on the ground there, and Swanson somehow comes away with it, also doing a nice job of not traveling.
Yeah, I'm not sure how she went from the floor to her feet without traveling, but she did, and Rashonda Jones.
And just like that, the Boilermakers using this crowd to their advantage. Puryear gets it for the first time, hands it back off to Swanson, puts the mid-range one up and puts it down. Porter slows things down, gives it inside to Williams, fires it back out to Myers on that far side, who drives the line. And again, the Boilermakers doing a nice job, Corey, underneath the hoop.
Yeah, another turnover. Great discipline defensively, and there's that confidence. Well, Williams is also very good.
Layden, as mentioned, consistently starting now. Beautiful pass there to Bass. And that's exactly why, because it's actually my lucky number, if you were curious.
I'm sure she cares.
Yeah. Puryear back in this one and back in the battle with Williams. Gets that up. And I tell you, the freshman really showing what she's going to be able to do. Have to keep battling through adversity. And this is the situation right here early in the second half. Jones trying to get away from Porter. Finds Layden completely open. Singer comes in, still unable to get her first points of the game as Jones denies her. Jones speeds things up. Collier from the corner, count it! And the Boilermakers have been looking for that three for the last few minutes.
The Badgers just 2 points this quarter, and they came in the opening minute.
Collier deep and absolutely unfazed. Once again, a big three coming in from Ellie Collier, and a timeout is going to get called here with just under 5 minutes left to go in West Lafayette.
And if we take a look at the score at Iowa City, I would not want to be the next team that plays USC. They trail the Hawkeyes in the fourth by 7.
Puryear, loads of space, gets up, gets physical, and one.
Welcome back to Purdue Basketball Live, presented by GEMCO. We're live at Walk-Ons in the Purdue Memorial Union, where there's validated parking and kids eat for free on Tuesdays. GEMCO Constructors is supporting your Boilermakers as the presenting sponsor of Purdue Basketball Live and proud partner of Purdue Athletics. GEMCO Constructors, boiler up. We are joined by Katie Geralds, rocking the George Karlaftis jersey. We'll get to the Super Bowl later, please. Let's talk basketball first. We mentioned it yesterday, a long time coming, and it was a great effort at Mackey Arena, and I have to believe that the weight of the world, at least for the time being, is off your shoulders and the shoulders of the players, because you just wanted to see a positive result.
Yeah, we, we've been working. Oof. Yeah, we've been working. Just hasn't translated, and thought we played well on Thursday, and I'm sure we'll hit that game a little bit, but just to see all the hard work that they've kind of gone through and stayed with it. We talk about all the time, like, we haven't ran from this, they haven't ran from it. We understood where we put ourselves, and they've all the adversity we've hit, and they've looked it straight in the eyes and tried to attack it and not run from it. And I couldn't be more proud of them.
It was a busy week. It started a week ago tonight, and probably the worst of the 3 games. The Illinois game, 74-38 was the final, and a night that you couldn't put the ball in the basket. And when that happens, it makes it hard, I think, to keep your, as we say, your daubers up. And I think it translated a little bit to the defensive end.
Yeah, honestly, go back and watching on tape. I wouldn't have felt it in the moment, but watching it on tape, I thought, we actually executed defensively a little bit better than what I thought. So that was good to see. And then obviously we just didn't make shots. Like, Des shoots 40% from the 3, doesn't get it going. Sophie gets some clean looks, doesn't get it going. Some point blank layups that we didn't finish. And I thought we finished it. We kept playing hard, and that's been a positive note, because we've continued to play hard. And not one time have I walked down in practice and think, man, I know this team isn't going to work, because that's never happened.
It's a deadly combination offensively when you don't shoot it well and you turn it over. And unfortunately, they outscored you that night 18-2 off turnovers. And it was an Illinois team that was really, really hungry. They hadn't beaten the Boilermakers in a few years. They wound up having a great week and a bizarre week. They played you on Monday night. They traveled Wednesday to Rutgers, beat Rutgers Thursday night, flew home after the game, practiced at home Friday, and then flew back to Maryland on Saturday and won a last-second game yesterday in College Park.
Yeah, and I think that Rutgers game went to overtime. I think so. Like, just a busy week, but you talk about an experienced team. A team that won the WBIT last year, and they've got 4 or 5 kids that are seniors that play a lot of minutes for them, and they came in and they did their job the way they're supposed to. And had a great week. I think they're sitting at 7-4 in the Big Ten and put themselves in a really good position.
A quiet bus ride home from Champaign, but I thought a much different performance on Thursday night against the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Certainly your home crowd helps a little bit, but it also helps when you can see the ball go in the basket and you shoot 50% on Thursday night.
Yeah, if we 21 turnovers.
Yep.
I think they scored 29 points off of our turnovers, and they took 13 more shots than we did. Lost by 6. Came out, shot it really well. The idea after the Illinois game to get back to practice was just like, let's find some joy, compete against each other. And I thought we did that on Tuesday. Wednesday we responded, and we've put some really good practices together here in the last couple weeks. And it was good to see them play well. Disheartening that we weren't, that we did have some turnovers down the stretch, but to be as competitive we were against a team that had only had 5 losses to the date,
right.
and 3 of them were to top 10 teams.
Yeah.
We put ourselves in a position, just couldn't quite figure it out.
Yeah, you got yourself down. It was a 1-possession game. You had the ball down 3 with about 2 minutes to play, and you came down, and I saw Destiny Lombard was open in the corner. Unfortunately, the pass to her got intercepted, and instead of having a chance for a 3 that tied the game, then they go down and hit a 3-point play at the other end.
Yeah, you can't fault Spider. I think she gave us everything she had that game, and we put a lot on her shoulders. I think Lana and KP did a great job on Markowski, especially in the second half. But a lot of that credit goes to Spider and how we tried to get Markowski in ball screen coverages to make her defend, and play both sides of the floor. So she was just exhausted. I know exactly what she was looking at. We had told her in the timeout that, it was going to be a loaded side for us, but they were going to single side because they were going to cover on KP on the roll. And she just right read, just wrong pass, and something that she'll learn from.
One of the issues in the Big Ten this year in particular, you got a lot of really, really top-flight centers. So you played one, Alexis Markowski. We're going to talk a little bit about Sarah Williams. You faced Lauren Betts. I mean, you've seen a little bit of everything. You've always got that dilemma. Do we double in the post and take the risk of a team getting hot from three-point shooting, which Nebraska can do, or do you try to single up and say, all right, give her hers, but we're going to stop the three-point shot?
Yeah, against Nebraska, we just thought that it was going to give us the best opportunity to win the game by not doubling. And I know Markowski had 14 points in the first half, but 4 in the second. Just gave us the best chance. We decided to stay home, and Lana and KP really held their ground in there and understood angles. They stayed down. They kept sliding. I think they hit 2 threes, one on a baseline out of bounds. a new little set that we hadn't really seen, and then they got us on it. And then Sophie went for a steal in the passing lane and missed it, and they hit another one. But you know, we were locked in. We were intentful on. You know, I think if you were at the game or if you watched it, you saw a little bit more passion on that side of the basketball. And I thought you know, it was just like I said, unfortunate we just couldn't figure it out.
All right, big win yesterday against Wisconsin. We'll talk about that when we come back. This is Purdue Basketball Live, presented by GEMCO on the Purdue Global Sports Network, and this is Boilermaker Basketball.
Who has colloquially put up almost 15 and 10 a season, is a tough take from Rashunda Jones. Now Puryear isolated on the right block. Puryear looking for space, getting physical down low, and a nice finish from Kendall Purer. She's had 4 games in double digits this season.
You know, Jessica Petrie stepping up, especially in place of Natalie Potts, who you mentioned, going down.
Layden will put up a 3, and she'll hit it from the right elbow. Lombard looking for an option, trying to just get open. Lombard for 2, got it! At the buzzer. Destiny Lombard will hit it to cut the lead to 1.
Moves offensively that they seem to be making, the adjustments are also very similar.
For 3, Swanson got it. From the left corner, Sophie Swanson will knock it down. The upper middle of the pack in terms of field goal percentage and three-point percentage, but it's the turnovers that have killed them, as Swanson will get that one to go. Tough finish for Sophie Swanson, and that's the we head to break. We take a look at the tough Sophie Swanson bucket. Purdue down by just 2.
It's not even that they're missing. They're just not taking the shots they normally do on the outside.
Perimeter, and the 3 goes down for Destiny Lombard, and Purdue takes the lead.
I think Purdue fans will kind of know what I mean by that. So Markowski is going to get Hans in her direction.
Bass wide open on the slip pass.
Bit of a cakewalk, right? Come in, get the job done like USC in the first, second quarter, but Purdue's putting up a lot of fight, and the Cornhuskers looking tired.
Swanson for 3, got it!
I'd say both these teams out of transition, not looking too great.
Layden 3, got it! Lane trying to drive, tried to get it to Collier in the paint. Did not get it, and so now turnover. Here comes Nebraska. Prince all the way to the rack, rejected by Reynolds. It'll be Purdue back.
Private walk-ons in the Purdue Memorial Union, where there's validated parking and kids eat for free on Tuesdays. Back here next Monday night for another Purdue Basketball Live. That'll be at 6:30. Don't forget, we have Purdue Football Live coming up on Thursday night. Your first chance to see Barry Odom here in person at Walk-Ons. That'll be at 6:05, and we look forward to talking to Coach Odom about football. I don't know if you've had a chance to even talk to him. He's been so busy. I have not had a chance to meet him. It may be the first time on Thursday night.
That's awesome.
Introduce myself and ask him a question on live radio.
There you
right?
go.
Wisconsin yesterday. First of all, it was Alumni Day, and you had more than 40 alums coming back. You had a great, I think that there were some events on Saturday, and then you had them at the shoot-around on Sunday. As a former player, what does that day mean to you?
Yeah, just an opportunity to come back home, a place where, you know, most of those people spent 4 years here, 3 years here, for a significant part of their life, a significant time part of their life, and to kind of come back and see a place and remember a place that was, you know, still special to all of us, but at one time, just a really, really special place. And we had great numbers. I was talking to somebody, I think even from back when I've been out of school and came back when it aligned on my schedule, probably the most we've had in a very long time. And, just a great day to see all those guys.
I was walking around the concourse yesterday. I ran into Yukari Figs and Melina Griffin and Stacy Lovelace, and then Joy Holmes Harris came down after the game, and it puts a smile on your face no matter what.
No doubt. Yukari and Stacy are at the dinner the night before, and you hear them talking with Jane and, telling stories, and, then there's another group going over here, and, we were in the back room at Waltz, kind of overlooking the glass out the pond out there, and they had to shut the door because it was just so loud, and just to kind of hear the laughter and the smiles and hear them to kind of all reminisce. We had a woman come from New Jersey, so she'll be at our game next week, but some 60 years ago or whatever it is.
Yep.
Just really, really cool.
All right, Badgers yesterday, they were coming off a fantastic win over the Michigan Wolverines, a game where they hit 12 three-pointers in the game. And Sarah Williams, and we talked about Alexis Markowski and the problems she causes, but Sarah Williams comes down their first possession yesterday. She pops one in from 17 feet, and you're thinking, well, this could be a long day.
Yeah, another one of those dilemmas, right? Do you double her or do you play her one-on-one? And I think in the past we'd always doubled her to kind of make her play in a crowd. But after they hit 12 against Michigan, just the way Michigan played her, we decided to go one-on-one. And she had a great game. She scored 28 points, but luckily for us, Tess Myers got it going on the outside. But luckily for us, we did our job on everybody else and found a way to score the basketball again.
It wasn't the first time Tess Myers had been in Mackey Arena either. If people will remember, she played at Duquesne last year, and they played here in the women's NIT, and I went back to the box score. She was 0 for 4 that day. Couldn't score a point, and she made up for it a little bit yesterday.
She definitely made up for it yesterday.
Yeah, she had 17 points in the game.
Yeah, a kid that was on a scout, make her do anything else but shoot the three, and just constantly kept moving. They ran a lot of action for her, so we missed her. Lost her twice in transition, and then a couple plays off some broken plays. But a kid that hunts shots, and she got it to go. And thankfully for us in the fourth quarter, when she got a clean look or two, it went our way, and it did not go in.
Well, we know the world looks a lot better when you make shots, and you hit 10 of 13 shots in the first quarter, scored 31 points. Everything seemed to be clicking in those first 10 minutes.
Yeah, just I think what we did in transition was really good. We told Kenna if she rebounds it, you push it yourself, spray the ball out ahead of you, kind of get Spider in the open floor, and she was able to get to the rim and get a couple and ones. Kenna hits a three. I think KP comes in and gets Sarah Williams on a beautiful up and under, and everything just seemed to roll the right way for us. And they didn't go away. You knew that they weren't a team that just has always played us hard and always plays hard. And but we found a way. We were resilient down the stretch, and I think the guests we have later on in the afternoon, her 10 fourth quarter points were huge for us.
She was pretty good yesterday.
She was not too bad.
Yeah, she was not bad. And the free throw shooting wasn't bad yesterday either. That has not been a bright light for this team this year. But yesterday, 17 of 19, and I would point out Sophie Swanson, in her first 21 games, had taken 5 free throws. She had 8 in yesterday's game alone.
Yeah, super aggressive getting to the rim. She had been playing really well. She played well against Nebraska. The cramps kind of caught her. That was unfortunate because she was in a really good day for us, and for whatever reason, got her hydrated enough to make sure she wasn't cramping on Sunday. And came out just super aggressive. Took what she didn't shoot it particularly well from the perimeter. She had a huge 3 in the first quarter, but took exactly what Wisconsin gave her. Hopefully we can get that Sophie for the next few games.
And it seems Sophie is one of those players too. The more she plays, the more rhythm she gets into offensively.
Yeah, we put her in pretty quickly yesterday, and as soon as she comes in, just try to run action for her, try to get the ball going through her hands so she can get the ball going through the net. A kid that, she's going to play hard on the defensive end, but plays a little bit harder when the ball goes through the net for her. So, something that we got to continue to do. I think our group is locked in and trying to find number 31 in transition. And then in the half court, making sure we're doing our job of setting really good screens for her.
I don't know if McKenna Layden got something extra special for Christmas, but she's been a whole different player since the break. I mean, she's hitting three-point shots, which you knew she was going to do, but she's become your best rebounder now in this last few weeks of the season. Yeah,
just a competitor. I think she came in the UCLA game and just played really, really hard, and that was probably when we noticed the most how much and she was going to help us on the defensive glass, and just length or timing or basketball IQ or whatever it is. Her ability to hunt shots helped us on the offensive end, but it was really defensive glass that was why she was inserted into the starting lineup, and she's taken full advantage of the opportunity.
All right, we're going to take another break. We'll have more Katie Geralds in 2 minutes. It's Purdue Basketball Live, presented by GEMCO on the Purdue Global Sports Network, and this is Boilermaker Basketball from Learfield.
And right now, both sides trading the high press, clearly something that they've seen. Puryear gets it for the first time, hands it back off to Swanson, puts the mid-range one up and puts it down. Played such a strong Notre Dame team that's in more than the conversation to win it all this year, and just lost some confidence from that. Puryear steps around Williams. What a move that is. Mike is finding success inside and outside, so kind of how do you adjust for that when it's both working?
Yeah, if you're Wisconsin, you've just got to trust what you're doing and believe that a team's not going to keep shooting 60+% from the field.
That's actually my lucky number, if you were curious.
I'm sure she cares.
Yeah. Puryear back in this one and back in a battle with Williams. Gets that up. And I tell you, the freshman really showing what she's going to be able to do.
Yeah, good job by Puryear, just getting a good look late on the shot clock situation.
Puryear, what a battle this is. She puts that one up. And the freshman continues to match Williams inside the paint. Collier bounces that one inside to Puryear. And it didn't go down smoothly, but it went down nonetheless, and that's all that matters.
And if we take a look at the score at Iowa City, I would not want to be the next team that plays USC. They trail the Hawkeyes in the fourth by 7.
Puryear, loads of space, gets up, gets physical, and one. Puryear, what a game she's having, and what a last few weeks she's had. Getting closer and closer to their first big win of the season. Puryear takes a double team, somehow goes right between it, and gets that to fall. And she continues to be electric today. And you just think Williams needs some help on the inside. She can't do it all on her own. That's a beautiful pass to Puryear and gets this place up on its feet.
Destiny Lombard just threaded that needle with a perfect 30-foot bounce pass. Puryear running to the rim and closes that one out for the Boilermakers.
Welcome back to Purdue Basketball Live, presented by GEMCO. We're live at Walk-Ons in the Purdue Memorial Union, where there's validated parking and kids eat for free on Tuesdays. Purdue Basketball brought to you in part by Purdue Federal Credit Union, the official credit union for Purdue fans. And Lafayette Limo, family-owned, women-owned, serving Greater Lafayette for over 38 years. Shuttles to and from Indianapolis and O'Hare airports 365 days a year. Make your reservations now at LafayetteLimo.com. Lafayette Limo, proud sponsor of Purdue Athletics. We're with Katie Geralds, Boilermakers coming off a win yesterday, taking on the Rutgers Scarlet Knights on Super Bowl Sunday. That'll be a 1 o'clock tip Eastern time. We've noticed that the bench has gotten shorter by necessity. You've got 5 players right now that are not playing. Elena Harper, Jayla Smith, Mila Reynolds, Jordan Poole, and Amaya Reynolds. It looks like that your 9 core, maybe your 9 core down the stretch. Hard to say, but it could be.
Yeah, hard to say right now. If anybody has an opportunity, it's probably Amaya. But we're rolling with the 9, and they're a 9 that's going to continue to work and try to give us everything they have.
Ella Collier was a player yesterday that came up with some great offense for you, 15 points. And I know you want Ella Collier to shoot the basketball more. She shot it yesterday and hit some big shots for you down the stretch.
Yeah, I think everybody wants to see her shoot it more. Just came off a ball screen, got a little pull up to go, crossover in the first half that got her a layup at the rim, and then hit some huge threes in the second half too, especially in the fourth quarter right in front of the bench.
We talked a little bit about your post players. We're going to talk to one of them later, but Kendall Purer and Lana McCarthy, you could talk about coming into the Big Ten in a difficult year for post players. This is it. And now this may be the going rate going forward, but man, we've got some talent at that position all across the conference this year.
Yeah, we sure do. And you just see it, the progress and how much better those two have gotten. You walk into the gym, you're probably going to find those two, whether it's before practice or after practice, they're always in there. Working, doing whatever they can to get better individually, but find ways to make our ball club better. Both bring so many different things for us, and I couldn't be more proud and more happy of their growth throughout the season. I mean, you said it right. Lauren Betts, Kiki Arifin, Hannah Stolke, let's go down, Markowski, Sarah Williams, Kendall Bostic, a 5th year.
Yes.
It doesn't, and it's not that they're just playing really talented players. They're playing 5th years, seniors, juniors, and that matters, right? Like the experience. And there's nothing like live game reps that those two have gotten this year, that have just made our ball club better. And in the long run, for those guys, I can't wait to see where their career takes them.
Well, they get to play against each other in practice every day, too. And, we talked to the guys that has to try to guard Zach Eady last year in practice.
Yeah,
it wasn't fun at the time, but it made them better basketball players.
Yeah, absolutely. And, two selfless individuals that really just want Purdue to win. If Lana's having a day, KP's her biggest cheerleader and vice versa. Just two wonderful human beings, like I said, that just want Purdue to win.
It's always a little difficult, I think, in late January and early February. There's that gap. It's not quite the end of the season. You can't quite see the light at the end of the tunnel. But I think this is a good time for you to have a week off between games because you've got a chance to get some rest some of these kids that have got some nagging injuries.
Yeah, super important, especially just with our limited minutes. Obviously, we took today off. Tomorrow they'll come in and with their position group, watch a lot of film, do some recovery for their body. We'll come back on Wednesday and back on the court together. But you know, it not only do we don't play till Sunday, but that following week we got another 3 game,
yeah.
3 games in a week, in front of us, and it doesn't get any easier. But for us, we're excited to be where we are. In terms of taking this week off and having the opportunity to get our bodies better, but also continue to get better and give ourselves an opportunity on Sunday.
I have been impressed, Katie, despite the record where it is, that you mentioned it. This team has stayed together. This team has continued to fight. We haven't seen that white flag, and I think that's rare these days for especially a team that you got a lot of kids coming in from the transfer portal.
Right.
You've got to build that chemistry, and for them to not give up and not wave the white flag is a positive.
Yeah, I just think that says to the character of the young women in our locker room. It hasn't been easy on any of us, them especially. And, I think someone texted me this the other day, and, Jalen Hurts said last year, I had a purpose before you had an opinion. Yeah. And just a message we sent to the girls, like, we all have a purpose before anybody else had an opinion about who we were, and this moment didn't define, those young women, other than the opportunity to look adversity in the eyes and battle through it. And like I said, outside of, obviously we want to win basketball games, but that has brought me the greatest joy this year.
And it's hard sometimes to keep out the noise. Now, you and I have talked. You don't go on social media. I don't think much, if at all, during the season.
If Ian tells me to go repost something or he emails me something to send it, but like I said, I know what I'm supposed to do. I know why I'm here, and I couldn't be more proud of the 13 young ladies on our team.
But it's hard to tell 18 to 22-year-olds to stay off it because
get
that's
off
how they
social
live.
media.
That's how they live.
There's no.
So how do you how do you help them handle that?
There's no way other than the constant messages. From them, we got each other's back. We're in this together. We've made the bed, and we've got to figure out how to lay in it and figure out how to get out of it and make it every single day. And they've done that. There's not been a practice where I've walked down and I was like, I don't even want to practice with these guys. They've stayed with it. They've stayed committed. Testament to our young guys of, trying to figure out where we want to take the program, but also, our older ones and the transfers have only been here for a minute, but truly bought into the Purdue way and what Purdue is about. And our legacy might not be winning a Big Ten championship, but I think the legacy of this team is going to be made on trying to figure out how we got the train back on the tracks and the trajectory of our program. All
right, we're going to have more with Katie Geralds when we return to Purdue Basketball Live, presented by GEMCO on the Purdue Global Sports Network. This is Boilermaker Basketball from Learfield.
Makers in the fourth quarter of that one. Just went away from what was working with the three as we see people getting down on the ground there, and Swanson somehow comes away with it. Also doing a nice job of not traveling.
Yeah, I'm not sure how she went from the floor to her feet without traveling, but she did. And Rashonda Jones.
That's it for the first time, hands it back off to Swanson, puts the mid-range one up and puts it down. On that far side who drives the line, and again the Boilermakers doing a nice job, Corey, underneath the hoop.
Yeah, another turnover. Great discipline defensively, and there's that confidence, JJ.
Swanson continues. Jones inside and went against Williams. A big mismatch there, and Collier finds the line. And all 5 Badgers collapse back, and that means Collier's wide open. And when she's wide open, she normally puts it down. Collier bounces that one inside to Puryear. It didn't go down smoothly, but it went down nonetheless, and that's all that matters. Still unable to get her first point to the game as Jones denies her. Jones speeds things up. Collier from the corner, count it!
Came in the opening minute.
Collier deep and absolutely unfazed. Once again, a big three coming in from Ellie Collier, and a timeout is going to get called here with just under 5 minutes left to go in West Lafayette.
And if we take a look at the score at Iowa City, I would not want to be the next team that plays USC. They trail the Hawkeyes in the fourth by 7.
Puryear, loads of space, gets up, gets physical. And hands it back off to Swanson. Is going to have to look at taking a shot, drives around the corner, puts that one up, and comes away with points. So high pressure there. Somehow Collier comes away with it. It's an open lane. Reverse, put back, count it.
Purdue not content to be fouled. They get that easy layup. Swanson.
Reminder on our upcoming schedule, the Boilermaker men tomorrow night taking on Iowa on these same stations starting at 6 o'clock Eastern with the pregame show, tip-off at 7. Purdue Football Live coming up on Thursday at 6:05 with head coach Barry Odom. Then the Boilermaker men again at home on Friday night against USC. That'll be a 7 o'clock tip. And then the Purdue women will be taking on the Rutgers Scarlet Knights Super Bowl Sunday at 1 o'clock. You can hear it on Bob FM in Lafayette starting at 12:45. Going to have more with Katie Geralds in 10 seconds, but first we need to take a pause for station identification. This is Purdue Basketball Live presented by GEMCO, and this is Boilermaker Basketball from Learfield. It's time for the Pro Boilers feature, where we look at how former Purdue student athletes are doing in their professional sports careers. Pro Boilers is presented by Indiana Kitchen Premium Pork Products. Get to know us at indianakitchen.com. We have a championship to celebrate. Ariana Harris is playing in the Super League Basketball. It's SLB, Super League Basketball. And they won the trophy final. I'm not sure what the trophy final is, but it has a trophy, and it's a final.
It's a win.
She plays for the Caledonia Gladiators out of Scotland, and they beat a previously unbeaten team, the Oakland's Wolves. Ariana had 9 points in that, and they got a trophy and everything, and they poured water and champagne afterwards. So trophies are good. Ariana's really enjoying her time over in the British Isles. Laisha Petrie is playing in Greece. Laisha had 21 points and 8 rebounds in a win on Saturday night. Her team won 79-65. Laisha's averaging 17.5 points, 6.8 rebounds a game, and her team is 5-5 on the season. Laisha Petrie, a natural scorer.
Yeah, no doubt, and they love their scores in Greece. And Ariana was here over Christmas, practiced with us for a day. The kid can still get up and down the floor and block a lot of shots. So, and then just super proud of Laisha for what she's doing.
We've talked a little bit about the present. We've talked a little bit about the past. Let's talk a little bit about the future. You've got 3 recruits coming in. Let's give us an update on your incoming recruits for the class of 25.
Yeah, Keona's over in her homeland playing really good basketball. Someone who's got a strong body and just maturity. She's going to be ready to play at this level right away. Avery just had her senior night. They're getting ready to, are they in sectionals now? Is that
right? Sectionals this week.
Sectionals this week. Wow, it goes so fast. She's all of 6'6" still and just dominating the paint. I've had some referees come up and just say, wow, she's got some of the softest hands. I think we talked about Kira last time and the numbers, the video game numbers she continues to put up. And, I don't know if she's 1 or 2 right now in the state in shot block rate, in history. But someone who just changes the game on both ends of the floor. Excited to watch them in sectional. I know we go on the road this weekend, so hopefully they all get through and we can see them in the next week in regionals.
High school recruiting will continue to be the lifeblood of the program, but in 2025 you have to use the portal. I think that's a given now in college basketball. I've talked to players before from their aspect of how they get into the portal and how, as a coach, how does this work for you? When does that window open, and how do you basically speed date some of these kids to decide who you're going to bring in?
No doubt. Thankfully Mark's really good at his job. He's somebody that's going to continuously check who goes into the portal when it opens, mid-March or whenever that date is specifically. But, that window that we have. And, it's important that you get young women that fit the Purdue way, that fit the Purdue culture, but also give you an opportunity to elevate the program. It's like you said, it's speed dating, and you've got to be on your A game. If any of us have any kind of red flag, it's usually a toss right to the side because we don't want to bring that into our locker room. Like I said, Mark's gonna be on it. I think we'll all just continuously hit the refresh button. I think we'll have some opportunities to go in the portal, and it'll just be making sure we find the right fit.
I think the wild card in all of this is we still don't know for sure if and when the house settlement is going to happen. If it does, and the numbers that we're thinking are going to happen, you may have a certain budget.
Yeah.
And then it's up to you, I guess, to decide, how do you spend that money that you're going to have?
Yeah, it's a lot of unknowns. We're just kind of jumping in the deep end all together. I feel really confident in the direction of what Mike has done and Babinski and how he's going to lead that. Tiff has been great for me and trying to keep me updated on what it looks like from our end, but feel really confident with Mung and Mike and Gary now leading the charge. I just think we're going to be in a really good position.
You'd like to have a level playing field. I think that's the key, and for everybody, not just in basketball, but I think for all sports. Competition should be about a level playing field.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's going to put us in a good spot. If all goes the way they all say it's supposed to, I think we'll have an opportunity to continue to push our program in the right direction.
All right, let's go back to the present. You've got a Rutgers team coming up on Sunday that is down near the bottom of the conference, and they're fighting, as is Purdue and some other teams, to make sure that you get into the Big Ten tournament. So it's a big game from that standpoint. Keomi McMiller and Destiny Adams, man, that's a great 1-2 punch that they've got.
Yeah, just a bunch of problems. McMiller can score with anybody, and we know Adams too well. I think she had 30 here last year when Rutgers was in town. And
thankfully not 32 because
thankfully
she missed it.
Thankfully for Caitlin Harper, she dropped down and took away the baseline drop step there. But two people that will put you in a big problem on the offensive end. Defensively, they fly around, they're athletic, they press, they change their defenses constantly, and a team that's playing pretty well. Like I said, they'll go to Indiana on Thursday, but they just took Illinois to overtime out in New Jersey, and we all know too well how tough of a place that place is to play. So we've got to be on top of our game. Yeah,
I'm anxious to see what kind of a crowd they draw on Sunday. It is Super Bowl Sunday now. It's fairly early in the afternoon, but that place when it's full is a great place to play. That place when it's not full, not so much. Yeah, not so much, but it's a great environment when it's full, and their fans are ruthless. Yes. They are, and but what other kind of environment do you want to come into in college basketball but to play in front of a crowd like that? A 1 o'clock start. We'll see if we can get back in time to watch the good guys play. But most important, we find a way to go to New Jersey and come away with a win. I know you're dying to give me a go Chiefs, so I'm going to let you get. I'm just so excited KP's on here, and big Chiefs fan, and I got a couple Bills fans sitting across the way from me, so we're trying to balance things out, but it's a losing cause right now. Sorry. Josh Allen just born in the wrong era, I think. Yeah, well, maybe next year. That's our plan, maybe next year. All right, KG, thanks for stopping by. I know it's been a tough season, but I'm encouraged by what I'm seeing in terms of the fight, and let's see if we can get some more results here before the season's out. Yeah, for us, we just hard reset, just figure out how do we find a way to win the next one. All right, Kendall Purer will join us next. This is Purdue Basketball Live, presented by GEMCO on the Purdue Global Sports Network, and this is Boilermaker Basketball from Learfield.
The upset win of number 11 Wisconsin. The Badgers a perfect 6-0 in the Big Ten. Team that shares the ball very, very well. Purer will fire that ball off the glass for two.
The Moore back into Johnson. Puts up a shot and makes it. He backed it.
Purdue forcing the turnover. Crump gets it right back to lay it up and in.
Kramer in the lane drives. Put it in. And it was fouled. Fucking down.
Steamstone blocked away by Jawan Johnson. Here's Mike left open.
Keep it as simple as possible. Focus on the task at hand.
Moore drains the
three with a runner. Beauty.
Moore feeding Hummel. Nicely done. See the sweet touch
shot on the way. Good. Grant, 3-pointer. The Grant 3-ball. Bullseye.
Shalashan will get it back now. Trying to get inside with hits for Sweets. Kramer left open. Yes. Purdue trying to grab that lead back. Moore in close.
Right wing into Johnson. He's open. He'll dunk.
Moore will fire it up. Yes.
Driving all the way to the basket. Puts it up. Score.
Just about everybody's a youngster. Shalashan. Yes. Because of the foul trouble. Moore wriggles inside for two.
Point lead is to 2. Hummel open for 3. Bullseye.
Here's Moore again to penetrate. Fairburn and then a roll in. Good screen. Flowers on the drive. Leads in and it's denied by Hummel. A great defensive stop.
And a block by Hummel. Hummel rebounds and was fouled. Hummel. A block on Flowers. Good.
Yeah, exhale.
Another W.
Let's exhale, baby. Breakthrough has hit the floor. Why? Because it's been a long time. 60-56 Purdue.
Welcome back to Purdue Basketball Live, presented by GEMCO. We're live at Walk-Ons in the Purdue Memorial Union, where there's validated parking and kids eat for free on Tuesdays. 2024-25 Purdue basketball season is presented by Purdue Global. Earn a degree you'll be proud of with Purdue Global, Purdue's online university for working adults and the preferred online university degree provider of the Guild and Team USA Learning Network. Start your comeback today at purdueglobal.edu. We are joined by Kendall Purer. She is a freshman from Lee's Summit, Missouri. As you can tell, a crowd favorite. You had a Purdue connection really before you even set foot on campus or before you got recruited. Your brother, Kevin, played at Missouri for Conzo Martin, who Purdue fans are very familiar with Conzo Martin. How much of an influence, if at all, did that have on you coming to Purdue?
I mean, I talked to my brother when I was making my decision on what school to come to, and I didn't know that he had went here before my brother or that stuff.
So none?
No, it had no influence at all. It was just a coincidence, honestly.
Okay, there you go. A coincidence. That's a happy coincidence.
Yeah.
It's all good. It's all good. By the way, your brother, 1,241 points at Missouri. I bring that up because you had 1,249 points in your high school career, so you've always got that on him,
Up
right?
one. Yep.
That's right, +8. In addition to basketball, you were a track star. Shot at one point the #1 shot putter in Missouri. Was there any question about whether it would be track or basketball, or were you going to try and do both?
No.
No.
It was just something I did in my free time. I thought it was fun, but I was not going to do that instead of basketball.
When did you start basketball? When did you really pick it up as a serious sport?
I was like 5 or 6. My parents had me playing on like an all-boys team, like just some little team. But yeah, I played with all boys until I was like 10.
Is that where the aggression started? Because you're not shy on the basketball floor, and we love that.
No, I've just always been aggressive. I used to play with my brother, and he would just like dunk on me, and it was bad.
Yeah.
It was bad. We'd be in the front yard. I'd be crying.
Well, there's no crying in basketball, right? You
Not-
found
no,
that out
no,
pretty
no.
quickly. Also, you are a black belt in Taekwondo. When did that start?
I was in elementary school. I don't remember the exact age, but I saw the Karate Kid, and I was like, wow, that looks really fun. So my mom eventually got convinced to let me do it, and I did it for like 4 years.
How has Taekwondo helped your basketball skills?
I would say discipline and aggression is where it's helped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't get to use those skills anymore, though, right? Or do you?
No.
Yeah,
Off the record.
As far as I know, no, right?
Off the record.
Right, yeah. Well, let's talk about your recruiting process then. I'm sure that there were a lot of schools interested in you coming out. What was it about Purdue and about Katie Geralds making the pitch that made you come here?
Well, off first meeting, KG and Kuchar at the time just had this like just energy to them that was just infectious and very drawing. And then when I came on my official visit, it was just like immediate that I knew I was supposed to be here.
I remember being introduced to you on your official visit because I was in Mackey Arena when you were there, and I was introduced knowing that this was another Kansas City Chiefs fan that they were bringing in the fold. And even though I'd grown, Katie continued to recruit you. I assume a lifelong Chiefs fan?
Yes, since I was a kid, yeah.
So Lee Summit, how far away is Lee Summit from Kansas City?
Like 30 minutes.
Okay, so you were able. Did you see any games? I mean, were you able to go to games?
Oh yeah,
growing up?
I've only really been to a couple of games, but it's. I mean, if you're going anywhere like towards Kansas City, you drive past the arena.
Okay.
So yeah.
Were there? So that was football. Were there basketball teams or basketball players that you really idolized or at least tried to emulate growing up? LeBron. Okay. And what was
I love LeBron.
What was it? What is it about? I shouldn't say was. What is it about his game that you like?
He's the GOAT, and he's aggressive, and he can do it all.
Can he coexist with Luka Doncic?
I don't know.
I
really hated that trade, but hopefully they can finally, get some more wins and get a title.
So you came here as a freshman. What was that transition like coming in, not just athletically, but academically? Because obviously that's a different step coming to a place like Purdue.
It was a big adjustment. Purdue academics is definitely Purdue academics. But by the end of the semester, I felt like I was adjusted to like managing basketball and academics.
If I remember it, are you a psychology major?
Yes.
Why? What do you want? If when in basketball is all done someday, what would you like to do with your psychology degree?
I don't know, but I do know. I do know that I really like how people think. I think how people think is very interesting.
I'm always concerned when I talk to psychology majors. I'm afraid you're analyzing me as I'm sitting here, and I don't even want to know what's going through your head right now. Although you never know. That's right. That's right. So the first semester you went through, and it's always difficult too because you're playing games right up until finals. You do get finals week off, but how did you get through? How did that first semester go for you?
At first, stressful, and then I figured out the proper way to study and how to manage my time well.
And I'm glad you mentioned, because I think time management, not just from an academic standpoint, but for the first time in your life, you don't have somebody, maybe getting you out of bed. You've got to, you got to get yourself to class every day. You've got to have the discipline not only to get your athletic stuff done, but to carve out time. How hard is that transition to make when you're first coming for you out of high school?
At first, it was very difficult because, like, I was the type of person in high school where my mom would have to come and, like, knock on my door and be like, turn your alarm off.
Over and over and over again. Yeah.
But, I mean, you got to get up, so.
Yes, you do. Going to class makes a lot of difference, doesn't it? All right, we're going to talk with Kendall about her first year on the court when we come back. It is Purdue Basketball Live, presented by GEMCO on the Purdue Global Sports Network, and this is Boilermaker Basketball from Learfield.
And right now, both sides trading the high press, clearly something that they've seen. Puryear gets it for the first time, hands it back off to Swanson, puts the mid-range one up and puts it down. Played such a strong Notre Dame team that's in more than the conversation to win it all this year and just lost some confidence from that. Puryear steps around Williams. What a move that is. Makers finding success inside and outside. So kind of how do you adjust for that when it's both working?
Yeah, if you're Wisconsin, you've just got to trust what you're doing and believe that a team's not going to keep shooting 60+% from the field.
That's actually my lucky number if you were curious.
I'm sure she cares.
Yeah. Puryear back in this one and back in a battle with Williams. Gets that up. And I tell you, the freshman really showing what she's going to be able to do.
Yeah, good job by Puryear, just getting a good look late on the shot clock situation.
Puryear, what a battle this is. She puts that one up. And the freshman continues to match Williams inside the paint. Collier bounces that one inside to Puryear. And it didn't go down smoothly, but it went down nonetheless, and that's all that matters.
And if we take a look at the score at Iowa City, I would not want to be the next team that plays USC. They trail the Hawkeyes in the fourth by 7.
Puryear, loads of space, gets up, gets physical, and one. Puryear, what a game she's having, and what a last few weeks she's had. Getting closer and closer to their first big win of the season. Puryear takes a double team, somehow goes right between it, and gets that to fall. And she continues to be electric today. And you just think Williams needs some help on the inside. She can't do it all on her own. That's a beautiful pass to Puryear, and gets this place up on its feet.
Destiny Lombard just threaded that needle with a perfect 30-foot bounce pass. Puryear running to the rim and closes that one out for the Boilermakers.
And right now, both sides.
GEMCO Constructors is supporting your Boilermakers as the presenting sponsor of Purdue Basketball Live and proud partner of Purdue Athletics. GEMCO Constructors, boiler up. Purdue Athletics would like to thank and recognize members of the Black and Gold Club who support Purdue Athletics through their sponsorship at the highest level. Black and Gold Club members include Indiana Packers, Molson Coors, Purdue Federal Credit Union, Purdue Global, Riley Children's Health, State Farm Insurance, Toyota, and Wabash. Each are great partners of Purdue Athletics. We're talking with Kendall Purer, who is a freshman from Lee's Summit, Missouri. We talked with Coach Geralds in a couple of segments earlier. You're coming into the Big Ten at a time that there's a lot of talent here. In high school, I'm sure you were one of the tallest players, if not the tallest player on the court. That's not the case anymore. How difficult is that adjustment for you to make?
I feel like I immediately had to adjust, especially in like workouts, because we have another big Lana,
yep.
and she's
bigger. She's taller.
She's taller than me, and she's a load to carry when she gets deep post position.
Yeah. Well, and having the experience to go through that, I would think that the two post players going through a similar experience, being able to share experiences with each other has got to help both of you get through this first year.
Yeah. Really close on and off the court, and it's helped. We make each other better. We're after practice, hitting each other, contesting, doing all types of things just to get ready for the game.
I have to tell you, I was really impressed, and I'm sure a lot of other people were yesterday. Sarah Williams is the reigning Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year, and a lot of people would be reluctant to go in there. You got the ball in the post, and I think the other thing that Coach Geralds talked about, the game has slowed down for you a little bit where you don't try to rush things. You showed no fear yesterday against Sarah Williams. How did that come about? I mean, how long has that taken to build in you?
Yeah, well, in our first few games, I traveled several times, and KG worked with me and Lana both to just slow down, take a second, and really see the read. And that helped a lot with the game slowing down. And just, being confident.
Well, and I think a lot of people forget the fact, in high school, you could catch the ball with your back to the basket. I'm sure you could turn around and you could shoot the ball because there's not going to be anybody that's going to be able to block your shot. Now you turn around and Lauren Betts is there, and she's 4 inches taller than you are, at least 4 inches taller than you are. So, you by necessity, you have to make some adjustments along the way.
Oh, yeah. I do anything and everything not to get blocked. So, throw a pump fake, spin, do something. Because as a post, I would consider myself undersized. So I kind of have to be craftier with it.
But no fear. That's the one thing I think that's impressed everybody about your freshman year. There's just been no fear, it seems like, all season long. Where is that? I mean, where's that from? Is that from your brother dunking on you when you were a kid?
Partially.
Or from the Taekwondo? Or where does that come from?
I feel like my mom is not going to like that I'm going to say this, but she told me growing up, she didn't raise a punk. You got to get in there. You got to do what you got to do. You got to get out.
Tough love, and mothers always know best.
They do.
You still got 4 weeks left in this season. Then you got 3 more years. What are we going to see from Kendall Purer down the road? I can't wait to see you grow and really, 18 years old right now, right? Can you imagine her when she's about 20, 21 years old? You're going to be a load in this Big Ten. What do you think are the things that you need to work on the most here in the next couple, and let's say in this off season going forward?
Yeah, of course. Working on my free throw.
That's important because you're going to get fouled a lot.
Yeah. Trying to extend my range a bit, just perfecting my craft on the inside, and just, perfecting all the things that I'm good at already and adding more to my bag.
When you watch, and hopefully we'll get back in time to see most of the Super Bowl on Sunday, are you a kind of a silent watcher? Are you going to be screaming at the TV? Or, what's it going to be like to watch the Super Bowl with Kendall Purer?
So actually, the AFC Championship, we were in a hotel, and I share a room with Lana when we go on trips. So we put the game on the TV, and I was jumping up and down, screaming, pacing the room. That's the kind of watcher I am. Yeah.
I would love to say I'm the opposite, but my wife is probably listening, and she can tell you I was rooting just as hard the other way. Mine didn't work out. Well, hey, we're glad that you made the trip up from Lee's Summit. Congratulations on having a terrific freshman year so far.
Thank you.
Can't wait to see what the future holds for Kendall Purer.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to have final comments on Purdue Basketball Live when we come back, presented by GEMCO. And this is Boilermaker Basketball from Learfield.
Boilermakers in the fourth quarter of that one. Just went away from what was working with the three as we see people getting down on the ground there, and Swanson somehow comes away with it. Also doing a nice job of not traveling.
Yeah, I'm not sure how she went from the floor to her feet without traveling, but she did. And Rashonda Jones.
And just like that, the Boilermakers using this crowd to their advantage. Puryear gets it for the first time, hands it back off to Swanson, puts the mid-range one up and puts it down. Porter slows things down, gives it inside to Williams, fires it back out to Myers on that far side, who drives the line, and again the Boilermakers doing a nice job, Corey, underneath the hoop.
Yeah, another turnover. Great discipline defensively, and there's that confidence. Well, Williams is also very good.
Layden, as mentioned, consistently starting now. Beautiful pass there to Bass, and that's exactly why, because that's actually my lucky number, if you were curious.
I'm sure she cares.
Yeah. Puryear back in this one and back in a battle with Williams. Gets that up. And I tell you, the freshman really showing what she's going to be able to do. Have to keep battling through adversity, and this is the situation right here early in the second half. Jones trying to get away from Porter, finds Layden, completely open. Singer comes in, still unable to get her first points of the game as Jones denies her. Jones speeds things up, Collier from the corner, count it! And the Boilermakers have been looking for that three for the last few minutes.
The Badgers just 2 points this quarter, and they came in the opening minute.
Collier deep and absolutely unfazed. Once again, a big three coming in from Ellie Collier, and a timeout is going to get called here with just under 5 minutes left to go in West Lafayette.
And if we take a look at the score at Iowa City, I would not want to be the next team that plays USC. They trail the Hawkeyes in the fourth by 7.
Puryear, loads of space, gets up, gets physical.
We are live at Walk-Ons in the Purdue Memorial Union, where there's validated parking and kids eat for free on Tuesdays. Looking at the AP Women's Top 25 this week, UCLA, South Carolina, and Notre Dame are 1, 2, and 3, and they've all been on Purdue's schedule this year. Texas is 4, and UConn is 5. 6 through 10, you've got LSU, USC, another Purdue opponent, Ohio State, who we'll be seeing in a couple of weeks, TCU, and Duke. 11 through 15, Kentucky, which Purdue played in the non-conference, Kansas State, North Carolina State, and Oklahoma. 16 through 20, Maryland, another Purdue opponent. Georgia Tech, West Virginia, Tennessee, and Michigan State, who we saw on New Year's Day. And then rounding out the top 25, you got California, Florida State, Alabama, coached by Christy Curry, Vanderbilt, and Oklahoma State. Again, the Boilermakers on the road this week, taking on the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. That'll be a 1 o'clock tip-off at Jersey Mike's Arena in Piscataway, New Jersey. You can hear it on Bob FM or tune into PurdueSports.com and hear it on Stretch Internet. That'll be a 12:45 start. The Purdue men tomorrow night taking on the Iowa Hawkeyes. That'll be a 7 o'clock tip from Carver Hawkeye Arena. Rob Blackman and Bobby Riddell have the call on that one beginning at 6, and then Purdue back home to take on Southern Cal. That one will be a 7 o'clock start on Friday night. Again, we'll have Purdue basketball live again a week from tonight. It'll be at 6:30. Purdue football live coming up with Barry Odom. That'll be Thursday night at 6:05 right here on these same stations. I want to thank Katie Geralds and Kendall Purer. Our engineer tonight, Scott Fenstermaker. Our producer, Hunter Stunkel. And video by McCarty Cummings. This is Tim Newton. Thanks for listening. This has been Boilermaker Basketball from Learfield.